In this video, we're going to talk about 5 mistakes preventing you from improving in Halo. And if you don't eradicate these mistakes, you might never improve and you'll be hard stuck in whatever rank you're at indefinitely. So we got to break it down, but the GameLeap website has in-depth VODs and advanced breakdowns that are designed from the ground up from our top level coaches, helping you improve at anything you're lacking in Halo, preventing you from climbing. So if you really desperately want to climb, you got to go check it out right now down below. Now, this is an absolute huge one that I see way too often with people that want to improve, is they copycat every single thing a streamer does. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot to learn from many of the top pros in Halo. However, it is important to understand that they are playing in a very particular way based on the skill of the people around them and the skill that they're up against. Understand that oftentimes they play fundamentally safer than they would if they were playing in your rank, for instance. So let's say hypothetically you had the same mechanical skill as a pro player or something similar. You would probably play far more aggressive if you wanted to completely stomp like a gold or a plat lobby versus if you are playing in a very high Onyx level lobby. Understand that the way in which you play, how aggressive you play, and overall how you approach every single matchup is going to be fundamentally different depending on what enemies can punish you for what. Basically, it's not a mistake unless it gets punished. And a player like, let's take Lucid for example, in any lobby that is like under freaking 1800 Onyx, maybe if you dropped him in like a diamond lobby, he would push every corner, challenge every fight, slaughter every engagement. And you have to understand that he can do that because he understands how to properly take engagements, how to time things correctly, is confident in his mechanics, and in those games, he would hard carry the hell out of them. And it's very important that if you incorporate a lot of the really great strategies that he's doing in his high rank games, that's great and it's gonna help you climb, but you could do even more depending on the rank you're at. And it's also very important to change up how you play from game to game. There is no objectively perfect play or perfect positioning. It's all gonna be dependent on the specific things that are happening in your individual game. And it's your job as a player to quickly gather data and develop a play pattern that can be altered or changed throughout the course of a match that gives you the best shot at victory. Now, the second big mistake that is preventing you from improving is actually not improving your mechanical skills. Whether you're on mouse and keyboard or whether you're on controller, you can definitely improve your mechanical skills. And keep note that this does not mean just grinding aim trainers, which is something you definitely could do. However, practicing against training bots or just trying to fight in a round or a game where you very specifically take note of how you're aiming, what you're doing wrong and right, how you're missing your shots. Think about what you can do to correct your aim, improve your aim, and what are the big aspects of your aim that you are actually slacking on. Are you being inconsistent in those last shots? Maybe you're over panicking and you're allowing that panic to affect your aim. Maybe your flicks are poor if you're on mouse and keyboard. Maybe your tracking is overall not consistent enough. And whether you're on mouse and keyboard or whether you're on controller, you can't consistently close on kills when you have advantage. These are things that you should be taking note of and slowly but surely correcting and improving your aim over time. As a general takeaway, understand that you could make a great play on paper. You could make the right play, the right flank, the right push, but if you don't have reliable mechanical skill to back that up, the right play will turn into the wrong play out of nowhere. And if your mechanical skills is top tier and the person you're up against has less than desirable mechanical skills, you can make a bad play on paper and still win because your mechanical skill bails you out. That's how important mechanical skill is. Now, the next big mistake that is preventing you from improving in Halo is the constant waste of abilities and resources. Understanding that whether it comes to ammo, whether it comes to your health, grenades, or the bullets in a special weapon or even items, you need to be getting value out of each and every resource or ability that you're using. Oftentimes I see players just chuck grenades when there is a very low chance of them connecting, never to grab a grenade again, and miss a key opportunity where they could have gotten guaranteed value with a grenade. Or maybe they have grapple hook and they don't save it for the prime opportunity or use it to take space. They waste it to fly around the map, fly around every corner, and they overall don't get the maximum impact that they could out of those abilities. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get value out of each and every ability or item use. What I am saying is you should take note the situations where if you would have had an ability that you used earlier, and how could you have won that engagement? Sometimes you actually don't use your items or your resources early enough, and you die when you have like a full rocket launcher, sniper bullets that you were trying to like get that perfect shot off and you just never could and you died with the full sniper. Or maybe you never used your grenades at all or never used your items at all and you just died for free. That can also be a problem. It is very important to critically analyze how you're using all the tools around you so that those are perfectly optimal, because while yes, gunplay is important as well, a big part of mechanical skill is properly using each and every one of these items and abilities. Now, the next big mistake that is preventing you from improving is the consistent lack of winning close 1v1s. And I feel like these come down to a few things. The first one is not fully understanding melee outplays, melee hitboxes, and it's something that you have to practice a lot. And I would highly suggest practicing in a 1v1 with a buddy. If you can practice in a 1v1, you can really learn how to melee in a way. When do you push in for the melee? When do you back up so that the enemy whiffs? When do you combine things like thruster to all of a sudden burst forward and get a melee off when the enemy wasn't predicting it? On top of that, learning the damage numbers. How can you shoot an enemy in order to get them just to where a melee will kill them instantly? For instance, it's 2 BR burst right into the body. So imagine if you're very weak, right? You're incredibly weak and an enemy is pushing you. Well, if you peek out, shoot them once in the body, peek back, and then as they turn the corner, you shoot them another time with the burst in the body and melee them, you could win that duel out of nowhere. And I understand that you will learn a lot of this with many repetitions, like instinctively. However, if you learn the logic behind it, it's a lot easier to apply it. And then you start thinking about situations like, how do I win this? How do I turn this? How do I trade? Rather than, oh, I'm weak, oh, I'm fucked, oh, he's pushing me. You start thinking about the route to victory rather than just, you know, the fact that you are fucking screwed. Then the last big mistake that is preventing you from improving in Halo is autopiloting game after game. Many players will make the same mistakes in one game and then carry it to the next, and carry it to the next, and carry it to the next. And here's the way that they're making these mistakes over and over again. Oftentimes, they make some good plays in the game and they make some bad plays in the game, but instead of being accountable for the bad plays you make, you think only about the good plays you make. And you're like, hey, I carried this game. Hey, I did really well. But then there's a whole bunch of deaths that were not needed. Or there's a whole bunch of value that you left on the table and you could have even pushed it even further. And many times if you don't hyper focus on these mistakes, they'll never get corrected and you'll keep making them game after game. And it can be incredibly frustrating when you can't climb and you don't know why, or you don't know what you could do to get better. I feel like way too many people actually focusing on their good plays or the plays they could have made rather than think about the plays they shouldn't have. Anyways, if you have any questions about any of this, definitely let me know down below. And as usual, the GameLeap website is the one place that if you really want to improve, you really want to climb, you really want to get to Onyx, 17, 1800, 1900 Onyx, or dominate in general, you got to go to the GameLeap website right now, down below.